Yeah,
Should be a
exactly.
better one. All right, cool. All right, quick intro, and then we'll get rolling.
Cool.
Marissa, the Fight Culture here with a regular face on the Fight Culture podcast, Mr. Billy Brand, pro MMA fighter, pro bantamweight, looking to make a big splash here. Dana White's Contender Series. We heard the news. How does
Yep.
it feel?
It's exciting. I'm stoked. Obviously, this is what the goal has been, to get to the UFC one way or the other, however it had to go. Um, but I'm excited. I'm been gearing up for this. It's just another fight, so let's go get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some more information now than when we previously chatted. You are
Mhm.
taking on a man with the last name of Haddon. He
Mhm.
has a interesting record himself, 6-1. His only loss, Steve Ursig. And you kind of had this same thing where you are
Mhm.
5-1. Your only loss, Peyton Talbot. You guys are both only taking losses from these high caliber fighters. So what do you take from that information going into the this Contender Series fight?
It's kind of funny on paper. It's like the perfect matchup. You know what I mean? We both have like almost this. He had a successful amateur career, so did I. He has obviously done well as a pro. Um, but yeah, it makes sense. I see why they want this fight to start off the Contender Series that week. Um, but yeah, he's a good fighter. There's nothing against him. The Ursig fight was close, as was mine and Peyton. So we do have a lot in common. But like I said, it's just another fight, just another opponent.
Right. So when we chatted before, I told you that I didn't want to bring up the Peyton thing. I think it's been talked about enough.
Hmm.
Um, but you touched a little bit on why you truly believe you might have been picked for this year's Contender Series season. So let's
Hmm.
get more into that a little bit. You mentioned it's probably because what you did with Peyton and against Peyton, and that kind of sets you guys up for this rematch, possibly in the UFC. So touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, I think that's probably their plan. But I think they're probably thinking the same thing with Cody. If Cody was lucky enough to win the contract, then they'd be thinking, okay, how can we build him back towards Usyk? With me, obviously the goal is going to be Peyton, and I'm glad. That's a fight that I wanted back right away. Um, as soon as it happened, I asked him in the cage if he'd fight me again, and he said, "Yeah, let's do it." Obviously, it needed to make sense, and we're at the point where I get a couple fights in the UFC. It will make sense to run the rematch back, and hopefully it'll be for a ranking or maybe even a title. But as far as getting the call, yeah, I think the Peyton fight was a huge factor. I actually know it was. Sean Shelby told Uriah. Uriah told me that that's why I'm on. They've obviously seen what Peyton's able to do, and I'm his toughest fight he's ever had. I think he'd probably tell you the same exact thing. So yeah, let's get through Cody Haddon, and then we can start actual actually making some money off of this stuff.
Right. So let's touch a little bit about the team that you have built. So, every time people mention your name, they always mention Team Alpha Male, of course. But
Hmm.
let's touch a little bit on what truly makes you this all round fighter, which is main event Muay Thai, Nexus Jiu Jitsu alongside Team Alpha Male. Run us
Yeah,
through that awesome village and team that you've built to get to this point.
yeah. I'm super fortunate. I have so many good people around me, and I've kind of built a team that I feel like for me is perfect. I train with Jack and Lake pretty much 3-4 times a week. At Nexus, I train with everybody at main event. That's like my second family. Lino and his family. And then obviously all the bodies at Team Alpha Male. I have so many good friends in so many different parts of my life that um, it doesn't surprise me that everything's come together the way it has. with this big opportunity and everything like that, it makes sense with the people around me.
Yeah. So your style, I want to say very striking heavy, of course, but you
Yeah.
have shown the strength on the ground. Not only
Hmm.
showing the strength on the ground, but you have shown that you are hard to one take down, and if they do take you down, you pop right back up. So what makes you that different kind of fighter as you head to try and get this UFC contract? What should people expect in terms of your style? Because I would say that's just an all-round good fighter. That's just what every fighter should probably strive to be doing. But how would you describe your style?
Um, shit, violent. I try to make every second count. I'm always trying to play the clock in my fights, and not in like a stalling way, but in a like, okay, we only have this much time. Let's get after it, and let's show everybody like I was the one landing. And I think the big thing for me is um the options that I have. I don't only throw hands. I don't only throw low kicks. I did for a while. I used to just everyone knew me as like a boxer with a good low kick. Um, but now I'm so dangerous everywhere, whether it's on the mat. I'm submitting people in the gym. Um, striking. I can elbow you, knee you. I can jab you. I can kick you. I'm too diverse in my attack, and I think that's going to be a big key in this fight. Cody's tough, and he's a really good boxer, but I think once he gets elbowed, once he gets kneed, once he gets double legged, once he gets strangled, obviously the fight's over at that point.
Right. So I think watching your career, we've talked a few times, probably since close to the beginning of your career, seeing you transition into the amateur to pro scene, the way you were able to throw those elbows so precise and so clean early on in your pro career, and you've done nothing but elevate that. You throw elbows like crazy, but
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
fun,
just to
man.
throw them. You throw them with bad intentions, and that is something very rare to see. And it's something that's not utilized as much as it should be, especially here in the regional scene. So
For
I think
sure.
that's definitely one thing out of many
Hmm.
things that differentiates you from a lot of fighters. Um, but let's touch on this really quick. So before you got this call, I know you had a fight scheduled. Something came
Hmm.
about medically. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had a torn retina, so I was going to get my medicals done for a fight in March. Um, Everything's going to like the regular routine, and then I get to my ophthalmologist, and first eye gets cleared, we're all good, and then as soon as they went to my left eye, they saw a retinal tear, so had to go get a little laser surgery. It was nothing serious, like the turnaround time. I gave it like a week or two, but they said the turnaround time is like a couple days.
Right.
Um, so it's nothing major, but it was stressful. They got a fucking big ass syringe going under your eyelid and
Yeah, I bet.
your eyeball and shit. It wasn't fun. I don't recommend it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It sucked at the time, it postponed that fight. Um, and to be honest, I probably would have liked to have another fight going into this one.
Hmm.
But that's not that big of a deal, you know what I mean? That's not really my priority obviously now. But it sucked at the time, but we got through it. We're getting close to this fight, so um just preparing for that.
Right. So talking about getting close to this fight, you also have your longtime teammate, longtime friend Jack Duffy, kind of in the
Mhm.
same situation, just 1 week apart.
Yeah,
How does it feel to have that luck to be able to go into such battles with one of your closest friends?
yeah, it's exciting. I'm really stoked. I'm gonna stay the week after once I get my contract. I'm gonna stay that next week so I can go watch Jack get his. Um, but it's crazy. Jack and I. It's funny. Like Jack and I didn't train together until we were adults, but I actually met him at Carnage when we were both like 16, and we were the only guys doing this shit at our age. He had already actually fought pro, and I started amateur at 16. He started pro at 16. So um, it's crazy. We've kind of grown up alongside each other, and now we're teammates. Um, It's dope. I'm so excited. We went to the media day at the PI for contenders, and you know, everyone's kind of like off doing their own thing and trying to be like quiet and, you know, respectful or whatever. And then you got me, Jack's brother, Drew from Nexus, Lino from Main Event. We're all just causing a ruckus. You know what I mean? Talking shit to each other. It was fun, and I look forward to more of that once we're in the UFC. You know, going to the
Yeah.
PI and getting work in there and everything like that.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. So let's touch on this fight one more time before we close this out. Again, probably one of the most perfect scenarios for a Contender Series fight.
Hmm.
And so when you walk in there, you know, what do we see from you? How do you approach a fighter like this? Again, you're such a well-rounded fighter, and we do know what Cody Haddon has in store. He kind of it's something very similar almost each fight that he has had. So how do you approach this?
Like every fight, you know, he has certain things he does. I'm sure he's looking at me thinking there's certain things that I do that he can capitalize on. Um, but really, I love fighting more than anything. So to me, it's just another fight. I get to go have fun in the cage. Um, and I think what's good about this matchup is Cody's gonna be ready to fight. He's not gonna run around the whole time. He's gonna try to engage. So it'll be a fun fight either way. When I was doing my interviews in Vegas, I said the same thing. I said, you know, this is a fight where I get my hand raised, I get my contract at the end of the night, and they might give one to Cody too, because it's that style of matchup, you know. And he can wrestle, he can do it all. Obviously, he has a lot of amateur boxing experience, but I'm known as a Muay Thai guy, and I obviously have really high level grappling as well. So I'm not expecting uh, he's gonna come prepared for sure, you know, and so am I.
Yeah, absolutely. So, everybody listening to this, this is a good fight regardless. Again, an opportunity for probably both of them to end up with a contract that night. So one more thing before we go. You have a lot of teammates who are currently in the UFC already. And then now you're going into battle with one of your best buddies. Once you
Hmm.
get that UFC contract, what do you want first? What kind of noise do you want to enter and make when you get into that UFC ring?
Um, right now, all I'm thinking about is the once I get my contract is the Sphere card. It's
Yeah.
uh it's Mexican Independence Day. I'm not Mexican, but a lot of my coaches are, and I obviously fight like one, you know, so I think it's fitting. I know Raul just got a matchup. I would have loved to fight him. He just got a matchup. Maybe I can be a backup for that fight. Um, and you know, he's obviously had troubles with making weight and stuff. So if he has to pull out or if his opponent has to pull out for whatever reason, you know, I'd love to, and especially since I know that they're not going to go back to the Sphere often, if at all, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanna make some history on my debut. And then if that shit, if that doesn't happen, I think we're overdue, well overdue for a Golden One Center card. Um,
Oh yeah.
so shit, we should. I don't know. I'll text Dana once I get my contract.
Yeah, I see you. I see you. All right. So your fight is August 20th, correct?
Yeah, Tuesday night.
So August 20th. Um, really excited to see this fight. Again,
Thank you.
you 5-1, Cody Haddon 6-1, only losses to a couple of badass stars right now. So
Hmm.
this is nothing but fireworks. I don't understand the placement on the card, by the way. I gotta talk to Sean
You know
about
what
that. Come
I
on, Sean.
I think it's just they want to draw all the attention early. You know what I mean? If
I see that.
it's that type of fight, they want an exciting one to get the night started, and then hopefully there's no duds, but there might be a dud or two in the middle, and then try to reel it back together for the main. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it. I like
I
fighting
can see
first.
that.
I really like fighting first. Hopefully they don't switch it up on me.
So literally the confidence you have to know you're going first, to know there's probably a reasoning behind it
Hmm.
strategically, and then you have to wait that entire night to see if you get that contract. The
Yeah,
confidence to
that
know,
shit's gonna suck. That shit's
yeah.
gonna suck.
So
I
again, a
the
fight to
way I'm
look out
going and
for.
the way I'm going into this fight is I know what the answer is going to be at the end of the night. You know, I know that contract's coming my way. I just have to focus on the fight itself, and um, as long as I stay focused and I stay in it the whole time, you know, I'll be getting my hand raised in a contract at the end of the night.
Absolutely. August 20th, Billy Brand 5-1 takes on Cody Haddon 6-1 for probably one of the most exciting fights on the Contender Series so far that has been announced. This is one to watch. So let me introduce you to Billy, not official nickname, but I call him this, Billy motherfucking Brand, your mom's favorite fighter. Because I know my mom watches your damn fights and my mom don't watch fights. So Billy motherfucking Brand walks into the UFC cage for the Contender Series August 20th in probably one of the most exciting matchups. Billy, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. As
Thank
always,
you.
you know, Fight Culture's got your back.
Appreciate you.
It's time. It's your time, and cannot wait. You guys need to see this shit.
Thank you.
All right, Billy. You have a good one.
You too. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Later.